we
We're
go.
never going to have Cringer anymore.
Hey, fans of Monday Movie Club, getting in on the tail end of Amy's comment. We are in Superman mode this week because Joel chose Superman Returns. We're getting ready for the new Superman movie. James Gunn wrote and directed. But first, we watched Superman Returns this week from 2006, which is number 1116 on the Frankie list.
Not bad.
I didn't even have to watch it, Joel. Thanks a lot. I'm Frank Gaffney, and with us, Joel Fenster. Love it. Cringer, Goldfuck. Cringer just went by.
Yeah. He's
New
not going to
view
be
of
with
Amy.
us much anymore.
That's Amy's kitchen behind her now, where she should be. Mark G has a picture up. Brandon Ralph. He's a cutie. Annie King in her kitchen, where she belongs.
Where she belongs.
Exactly. Hey, Joel, why Superman Returns? Why
Well,
did you make us watch Superman Returns?
be thankful I didn't make us watch Superman 3 and 4 because when we
Yes.
last saw Superman, we had
Yes.
Superman 2.
I'm actually recording them both this week.
That's funny.
Good
Well,
luck.
because didn't it? This movie picks up at the end of 2, right? Kind of, sort of.
Essentially, yes. It
Right.
kind of puts 3 and 4 in this nebulous, maybe they happened, maybe they didn't happen kind of thing.
Multiverse.
I wouldn't call it multiverse. I think it's just ignore them if you want or keep them if you don't want. So.
Right. Yeah, well, there's a little time glitch there because Superman's been gone for 5 years, but
Right.
it was obviously 2006 in the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the plot. While Lex Luthor... Oh, wait, that's funny. It says, and my thing, I didn't even read it. I just cut and pasted from the interwebs.
That's how we all
Plagiarism.
get in trouble, Frank. That's why the world is the way it is. Nobody reads anything. They just cut and paste and share.
And this says, while Lex Luthor, John Peters, I did not do that. Obviously, it's Kevin Spacey. Plots to destroy him once and for all. The Man of Steel, played by Brandon Routh, returns after a long absence to a much changed world. Lois Lane, played by Kate Bosworth, has moved on with her life, and society has learned to survive without him. Well, they survived without him before, right? All right, so I don't have any comments except I had lots of observations while I was watching the team.
Okay.
First of all, 2 hours and 35 minutes is too damn long. And
Yeah.
yes. And then Marlon Brando. Damn, Gina, they got Marlon Brando's crap. And they paid quite a bundle for it, right?
Well,
Joel?
they paid so much for it. That's how they were able to get the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2 made, because now they had access to the Brando stuff that.
Oh, they paid for it back then.
No, they paid for it for this movie.
Oh, and then Richard Donner was like,
They did the same thing at the same time, yeah.
$14 million.
Yep.
Like,
For 10 seconds of Marlon Brando?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that's about what he made in the first film anyway.
Adjusted for inflation, yeah, sure.
and then, so this is a little bit of previously on Superman first, then it's a direct sequel to 1 and 2, which we said, ignoring 3 and 4, as we all should. And then
Come on, Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
the titles and the music, John Williams, the titles,
Yeah.
same as the other one. And, it was fun seeing the people from the 1950s TV show, Jack Larson and Noelle Neal.
Yes.
The old lady that dies at the beginning.
He's the old lady that dies at the beginning. He's the bartender that Clark and Jimmy are talking to.
Yeah. But seriously, Superman is a dick throwing the ball for the dog.
That's almost word for word what I wrote in here. I agree.
Oh my gosh. What a dick. I
Total
get
dick.
that he was upset, but really. And Lois Lane, just rude, writing the article, Why the World Doesn't Need Superman. That's just rude.
She had emotional issues to get through.
Yes.
And then he goes and saves her anyway, even though she was rude.
Because that's what Superman does.
Yes.
Right. And hello, Clark was gone for 5 years as well. Nothing suspicious there.
Stop taking my notes, Dan.
Right?
All right, I'm going to stop talking. You go ahead.
And he's allowed to go right back to his job.
All right, go ahead, Mark. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. I saw this one time before. I remember the only thing I
What
remember from the
time
movie.
at Superman camp?
Yeah, exactly. I remember hating Kate Bosworth, thinking she was just dead behind the eyes as Lois Lane.
I agree.
Um, and I went in, so I went in with an open mind this time. I remember Joel had said to, give it another shot. Yeah, she's not great, but the rest of the movie that has some really good parts. I love the opening titles with the theme song. It got me right into it. And we had just watched Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, and I'm super excited about watching Superman in the theater. So I was in the right mindset of let's go Superman to watch this, and it really paid off. Um, yeah, Superman was a real dick throwing the ball a mile away for the dog. Parker Posey, I normally do not like. Neither does Danielle. We both just find her annoying. She's over the top. She was great. She was absolutely great. She was very funny. Those lines that she had toward the end, when Lex says, "What was it my father said?" and she says, "Your hair's getting thin." No, no, before that, get out.
Yeah.
Great timing. It was
Yeah, but
perfect.
she's no Miss Tessmacher. Come on.
No,
Valerie Perrine will forever be Miss Tessmacher.
no, but I was pleasantly surprised. Put it that way. The ripple of energy flowing down the airplane as Superman stopped it right on the baseball field, I thought was absolutely great. I feel like that is what would have happened. I thought it was very realistic. Um, the awkward hug slash kiss reunion of Clark and Lois was great. And Kate Bosworth, to be fair, she was not my favorite part of the movie, but she was not 0 out of 10. She was not horrible. She was just not. She had no emotion. I don't know. She wasn't great.
She's the least of the Loises.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
She's the
Okay.
lowest of the lowesses. But the entire plane crash, thank you. The entire plane crash was way too long. Way too
Yeah.
long. It was
A
great.
lot of this movie was my complaint about many of these kind of movies. Hey, look at me. We can do beautiful effects. Get
But
on
you-
with it.
honestly, at the end of the day, there were no stakes. You knew he was going to save the plane. You knew he was going to save Lois. So yeah, it could have been done quicker.
Agreed.
But it was beautifully done for sure.
And I wrote the same thing here. How does nobody notice that Clark and Superman? I get it. This is what happens. Clark's never in the same room as Superman, but 5 years they both are gone and both return on the same day, and nobody puts it
Yeah.
together.
And then
And hey, look at me. Now you can't recognize me.
And hey,
Yeah.
they even said in there, hey,
it's a special
Clark's 6'4".
it's a special spell kind of thing.
Yeah. Anyway,
And Jimmy says she's still in love with you know who. But now I'm watching Harry Potter movies, and so she's in love with Voldemort.
ah,
A little confusing for me.
who knew Superman was a peeping Tom? That whole scene of him staring through Lois's house.
Oh my
watching-
God.
What a creeper! Super creeper. So he's a dick for throwing the ball. He's a creeper. I don't know. Superman, he's changed. Those
Not-
5
not
years.
Not your father's
This
Superman.
is not, yes, I was just going to say that.
But here's my other thing with the plane thing. If the plane was having a power outage, how did the flight attendant's microphone work? Just saying.
It's a separate subsystem.
It was a battery.
Ah,
I think it was Chief and Jimmy that said it's a bird, it's a plane. I thought that was very, very cute. And I didn't remember that the kid was Clark Jr., so that was a nice surprise. Although I started guessing that toward the end. I was like, that asthma is going to go away, and whatever.
I'm come on. That was
I had
so
no
bad.
idea.
Really?
Didn't even think it.
Oh, I did toward the end. I was like, oh, he's going to save them. Yeah, I knew that piano was I knew that piano was going to crush that guy. I didn't remember it. I just knew it was going to happen. Question: the crystal that Lex uses to create this new continent. Why would one crystal do that? One crystal created the Fortress of Solitude. It's a large building. It's a mansion. How could it create? How could it suddenly just create an entire continent?
So, using the comic book logic that we all love to use, if you remember at the beginning of the film, they cut a tiny, tiny, tiny chip off and
Yes.
dropped it in the water and had a giant like rock. So, if you use the whole crystal and lace it with kryptonite, you're going to get something 10 times thousands larger.
Is it because of the water?
Yeah.
That's the accelerator. Okay.
That's the accelerator. Right.
Ah.
Okay.
And was Otis in this movie?
No, there is no Otis in this movie. Basically, the four goons, one of which is Cal Penn, they're the Otises.
Did Cal Penn know this was a role with no lines?
I actually don't remember. I remember reading something about that at one point, but I don't remember what he said. So
I feel like I read in the
Yeah, he
trivia
didn't
that
say
a
anything.
lot of his shit was cut.
yeah, well, because the movie's 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
You don't want to give henchman number 3. You know,
He had lines in the beginning. I thought it was going to be bigger, and then
That's
the
why-
second half of the movie, he just made mean faces.
That's why he signed on, obviously. And they were like,
Yeah.
And yes, the 3 henchmen got Fabricio'd, which if you're a Titanic fan, you'll get it. If you don't, I'll explain it later. You need to watch Kevin Smith's Mallrats to understand why Superman and Lois could never have a baby.
Ah.
And I know Joel is the only one that will get that. 'Cause Superman, if Lois gets a tan, the kid will kick right through his stomach. Anyway, for me, it's 3.33 stars. I liked it way better than I had remembered. Thank you, Joel. Definitely got me in the mood to go to the theater to watch Superman and Crypto. That's what the movie should have been called.
Yes.
Superman and Crypto?
No.
The new movie.
Yeah.
All righty. Is Brandon wearing contact lenses to make his eyes more blue? It looks a little freaky.
I don't believe so. I think those are his net. I don't remember because I'm trying to remember him from the Arrowverse shows, and I think his eyes are just blue. So
And he really did his best Christopher Reeve impression.
Yeah.
He did a good job.
Yeah, he was very good.
Yeah.
And too bad he never got a sequel, and Arrowverse does not count.
I was going to say he was on a crossover.
and not only on a crossover, he plays Superman, a different version of Superman, in a couple of episodes that were part of a crossover. So
Yeah.
he did kind of get his own little sequel there. So
And
And
I
he was
thought-
also in a Kevin Smith movie, Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
yes, but
I
he
think
doesn't get Superman there.
all right, I think Kevin Spacey did a nice job as Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I have no problem separating assholes, the man from the art, and I thought he was fantastic. Yeah.
Except for that one moment at the end where he screamed something bizarre, like, calm down, Mary.
Mary. And the other, is this a new element too, when Superman flew above the earth and heard all the million voices?
Yeah, I never heard that, Joel.
'Cause that was really interesting.
They've done that in the They've done that in the comic books a lot. He has
Yeah.
to, and there have been other iterations since then that have utilized that more, where he's just kind
Yeah,
of
I mean,
trying to focus
I
in.
mean, that is quite the burden. But of course, the only answers the ones in the United States. Thank you. Okay, now he's helping the world, but whatever. Okay, so yeah, so I said this too. Where were we at the end of 2? Because it's 5 years later, and this kid has a cell phone, excuse me, a camera phone. So, what at the end of 2, where was Lex Luthor? Wasn't he stuck?
He's in jail.
Yeah, he was in
They
jail.
They arrested. You have to. The scene of him actually being arrested is only in the international television cut.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, but,
Yeah, 'cause I thought he was stuck in the fortress still.
technically that's what you're supposed to think. But since that scene does exist as a deleted scene,
Right.
and it is in that cut of the film, that's where he is. He's back in jail.
And didn't Superman also say in that movie that he would never abandon his duty?
He probably did.
He did.
That's why Lois is mad at him.
And the interview scene with Lois, very reminiscent of the one in Superman the movie, but this time better special effects, of course. And then Lois's article is called Superman Returns, just like this movie. That was cute. And this I was like, and Lois is a terrible mother also, because she takes the kid with her
Yeah.
to go investigate the boat.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And leaves her cell phone in the car with the windows open.
Yeah.
What?
how does Lois not know
Lazy
that?
writing.
Admittedly, Natasha does that sometimes.
Really?
And how does Lois not know that this is Superman's kid? Was she a slut and she slept with every 800 people with unprotected sex?
I assume she knew. She just didn't
Yeah,
tell anybody.
I think she knew.
She knows.
But she didn't know he had superpowers until the piano moment.
Yeah,
He probably
yeah,
never showed them.
That's how it works.
And did when she's on the boat, she sees all of Lex's wigs. Did it really need the psycho violins? I'm like, okay.
But that John Ottman had to get some sort of original score piece in there since he was just utilizing everything John Williams wrote. So
Right. And then this was the one thing that totally dated the movie. She sent a fax.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, a fax. And then they throw her in the room and they, with the sign, lock the door and she's like, open this door. Oh yeah, sorry. Yes, let's open the door
Yeah.
for you. Retarded. And then Superman goes up the elevator shaft, but the car didn't have a top to it because there was no debris. He just went
Oh,
up
there's,
and
there's debris. If when you see him go through the roof, there's a little bit of debris you can see behind him, and then my brain is just going, God, the Daily Planet's insurance has got to be ridiculous.
we'll wait till the next movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
But how can Superman lift that rock of kryptonite?
he was straining. He was really straining to do it. You can kind of tell, but yeah,
But
'cause he
that was a
wasn't- he
lot of
wasn't-
kryptonite.
he wasn't directly touching the kryptonite. He was touching the rock, and then you see
But
the
it was in his sphere.
yeah, and he
and so
still
he
had,
was sweating.
and he still had the shard in him as well.
Yeah.
So, but he was definitely straining with it.
I did think it was great that when after
Yeah.
he got his ass kicked and all that stuff, that he flew up past the clouds to recharge with the sun. I was waiting for him to do that. He did it. I thought it was great to the comic book, you know?
And then what? How did he still have kryptonite in him? And the whole thing. And then when he came back to Earth, everybody in the crowd was in black, like they knew. Like they're all somber, all wearing dark clothes. I'm like, seriously? And then at the end, he's creeping on the son, like he did on the mother. And then he said that whole thing sounded like a fortune cookie to me. The son becomes the father becomes the son. I'm like,
Because
Because
that's
that was
what
Brand.
that's
Isn't that
what
what-
says that.
yeah.
Yeah.
The beginning.
Confucius say. And Superman says to Lois, I'm always around. Yeah, except for those 5 years when you left and didn't even tell me about it. And then he's abandoning the kid. This is not our Superman.
He'll be there.
Maybe they were waiting to do that in Superman Returns 2, which
Uh-huh.
never.
Superman
Okay.
returns again.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
We return.
He
He
returns.
returns.
Well, if they were going by Batman sequels, it would have been Superman Forever.
And so what went wrong? Bryan Singer seemed like the perfect choice. He had done X-Men and he's a big fan of Superman. But it was also a swing and a miss at the box office. It cost $275 million, but only made $391 million worldwide. So that's a disappointment. And fans were disappointed too. I'm one of those disappointed fans. And where was the big fight scene at the end? Superman didn't fight anybody. Too long, too boring. 2.75 for me. For all its good intentions, it just does not measure up for me. Not a great Superman movie. Know what next week is? I already saw it yesterday. Oh. All right. Kenny King, have you seen this one before?
No, I have not seen this one.
All right. Are you a fan of the Superman?
I liked it well enough. I like one, I like two,
Which we just watched.
right? And then Man of Steel is totally different, right? Just so I saw that one recently. And so you're saying the next one next week is totally different also, not part of this.
Yeah.
Retelling of the same story.
Right. So
No.
just
Not at all.
Well, it's still Superman.
Yeah.
But
And
no.
it's a retelling of Superman, a different story. Fine.
It's a different story.
yeah.
It actually is very good how they just assume you know all the stuff you should know and just go to the next thing.
Right.
So we don't really retread anything.
Okay, yeah, but I thought this one like blended well or seamlessly from Superman 2 pretty much. It like kind of felt very much in the same tone or like it wasn't jarringly different, I thought. So carried over. And yeah, I knew that kid was gonna be his like
Oh my
from
gosh. The
beginning.
second you saw him. Sorry.
Yes.
Come on. I thought immediately.
Yeah. And then like her and like what's with having that her fiance, are they engaged?
Yeah. James Marsden, yeah.
Like how long have they been engaged? And like Jimmy says, like don't mention when.
About 5 years.
Yeah. That's a long time. Like, isn't he getting tired of waiting around? Other than that, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I would go with a 3. But I saw it like last Sunday, so Thanks
to
for
remember.
yeah, hard to remember, and I don't take notes.
Wonderful.
But Frank said a lot of it, so thank you.
Yeah, I talk way too much. Go fuck. Did you take notes?
I took a few of my little nitpicky notes, and I had never seen it. And I remember when it came out, and I don't remember it getting very good reviews, but for some reason I still wanted to see it, and I just never did. So I'm glad we got to finally watch it.
I think Brandon Routh is adorable. I
Oh
think
my God. I think
he's-
he's better looking than Christopher Reeve.
You
Don't
shut your
strike me
mouth.
down.
Just-
How dare you? How dare you?
I know. The first note I wrote was, okay, I'm 20 minutes in, and there's been about 3 minutes of dialogue. Let's go already. Constantly, I'm thinking that throughout the whole movie. Come on, it's beautiful, but let's move it along. Too long.
Yeah.
Now and it was very jarring to me at first because I didn't realize at the beginning, because I'm an idiot, that it only takes place 5 years after Superman 2. So of course they're still going to be young. Because I was like, he's younger than Christopher Reeve. Everybody was so young, and then of course it hit me that I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I mean it's 20 years later, but it's only 5.
Right. Now we have 20 minutes of Lex Luthor causing a power outage that lasted 2 minutes and watching 400 things break, explode, buttons being pushed, nervous faces, etc. I guess it was just another let's go already, we get it, sorry. The space shuttle igniting while still attached. I don't think I meant igniting. I talk text. The space shuttle igniting while still attached to the plane was very cool. Very cool seeing Lois's son Jason react to the kryptonite because I had no idea. I didn't even think of it. So I was like, oh my God, love that. I can't stand movies, and this is to your point, Mark, I'm sorry. I can't stand movies with cheap writing where they make characters idiots in order to explain things to us. For example, Perry White looking at the numbers Lois wrote on the paper and saying, what are these, lottery numbers? Why do I feel like I'm sorry, this is so long. Why do I feel most of the audience, when they first saw this movie, knew they were coordinates, but
Exactly.
Perry White is thinking they're lottery numbers, you idiot. So now we had to have the guy, no, explain it. Get the fuck out. Also, not quite the same, but why would a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist ask how many F's are in catastrophe? I mean, come on. Horrible
No.
attempts at
Oh,
jokes.
that goes back to the first Superman movie. Lois is constantly There's only
Right.
one
Can't
being
spell for
rapist.
shit.
There's no
Oh,
Z
okay.
in Brazier. There's no.
That was a great callback, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, I get if that was a callback, then that was
Yeah.
cute. But I thought there was just horrible attempts throughout at the humor, just like the jokes that Lois, who was it who said, what did your dad say? You're bald? Was that
Parky Pose,
Yeah.
Kitty.
Posey Park, whatever her name is.
Such stupid jokes. I hate writing like that. But anyway, I did enjoy it. I didn't love it.
Just that's another callback to the original movie.
Yeah, but it was bad
Lex
writing
and Miss
to me.
Tessmacher have almost the exact same conversation.
Get
And
out.
I'm sure I hated her as well for the stupid ass jokes. They're lame. Anyway, I'm gonna give it 2.75, just like Frank. And Frank is the little curly Q.
No, you have to take off your glasses if you're going to do that.
Oh, right.
True.
There
Oh
we
my
go.
I'm super reviewer.
Super.
Joel. Now, in the realm of Superman movies, this is maybe 4 or 5.
Well, let's look at how many Superman movies there currently are to date. There's the 4 Christopher Reeve films. There's this one,
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. Some people count Dawn of Justice.
I would.
I don't, because it is not a Superman film.
Right.
It's like Justice League prologue.
Yeah.
And then this new movie.
Right.
So where does it land for me? It's probably in the middle of the pack, only
5.
because it's not as good as 1, 2 in the new film, but it's better than 3 and 4, and definitely better than the Man of Steel.
Yeah,
I agree.
So
I agree.
That makes it 4.
yes, probably. Yeah, actually, it makes it 4. So, I could reiterate most of what all of you have currently said. The movie is way too long. As much as I love the first 2 Christopher Reeve films, you can tell that Bryan Singer loves them so much that he's got his head up his own ass.
Yeah.
The
Unfortunately, this is what happens. You spend all this money, do all these scenes, and you're like, oh, I can't get rid of any of it.
Yeah.
and suffer because of it.
But the thing is, he did get rid of some of it because there's deleted scenes that didn't make the final cut of the film. There's like 20 minutes of it. And I was like, I can't imagine this movie being 3 hours. It's already too long as it is. There are some, I think the thing is, between Superman 4 and Superman Returns, Warner Brothers spent so much time, effort, and money trying to make a Superman film, and there were at least 3 or 4 iterations that never made it into production. The closest they got was Tim Burton directing Nicolas Cage, that got shut down a week before they were supposed to go into production. And what we wind up with is probably the best concept, but not executed the way it should have been. And the fact that Warner Brothers, their idea was, okay, if this movie does X amount of dollars at the box office, we'll make a sequel. What they didn't say was, it's yes, that X amount of dollars, but we're also charging this film all of the pre-production costs for the other 4 iterations that never got off the ground to this movie. So there was just never going to be a sequel. It's never going to make that much money anyway.
Well, I honestly, $391 as opposed to $691, they would have done it.
Sure, but the thing is, Warner Brothers said publicly, if it was if it made $391, they said if it makes $390 million, we'll make a sequel. You know, they literally said something to that effect, and it made just over that. And
but then Bryan Singer is a crazy person.
Well, that's beside the
We're not going to make another movie with him.
Yeah, well, there's a whole lot of issues there. And just to quickly touch on the whole separating the art from the artist, I'm usually very good about that. And honestly, this has been the first film with Kevin Spacey that I have watched again since all of the bullshit has come out and in public of things that he's done. And I can do that with him again now. I've been very hesitant, but I knew this would force my hand. Bryan Singer's a whole other ball game with that.
Funny you should mention Paul.
Yeah. Well, when you brought up earlier the scene where he's creeping on the kid at the end, I'm like, yeah, that's a Bryan Singer thing.
And
it's
the kid wasn't in his underwear.
Yeah. Anyway, leaving all of that aside, I think Bryan Singer had a great idea. He just was in love with it too much, even to the point, as much as I love John Williams' score, and I'll mention this next week, I think he used too much of it here. It's all over the place, and I prefer it to be more of a, let's use it where it's necessary,
right,
kind of thing. I think Parker Posey is a decent substitute for Valerie Perine's character. At least it's not Miss Tessmacher. It's a new character that's filling the same role, which I think is great. And I think she does a nice job with it. I think the 4 goons that he has are kind of stupid, and not in a good...
As they should be, because they're goons.
Yeah, not in a good Ned Beatty Otis kind of way. Just kind of,
the best.
Sure.
Yeah. I really like Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor. He takes Gene Hackman's character and moves it a step in a different direction, which I think works really well. But at the same time, it's still, the plot, Lex Luthor's plot is real estate. It's like, why are we still doing real estate? Get the fuck off the real estate, The movie has some great moments. I actually don't mind the length of the airplane thing. It works for me. It's a throwback to something that John Byrne did in the comic books in the 80s that works really well in that particular story. And it was nice to have that show up here.
Right, but Joel, you know what I'm saying about it would have been more compelling if something would have gone wrong, but nothing.
Well, yes, you don't have those stakes that you're expecting, because you want to feel like, oh my God, something could really happen.
Every time he saves somebody,
you're
like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, you need to have some extra stakes that aren't there.
Yeah. And then, I'm sorry, the entire world then applauding and showing all of the people, oh my God, Superman's back. I'm like...
Because they were all watching that ball game live.
Yes, everybody was. And if only the movie got that same reception, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
We'd be having a different conversation where the whole
franchise... But you would have made us watch both movies this week.
Well, no, the whole franchise would have eventually imploded because of Bryan Singer and Warner Brothers. So,
Annie, what were you going to say?
I just thought it was so silly on how many times she got thrown about the plane too. Like, just buckle your seatbelt already. Like,
Yes, I thought the same thing with
I
her.
think that was their attempt to show, oh, these are the stakes. Lois is going to be banged up, and it's like it's not. It's there needs to be something more. But it didn't bother me. I like the film. I've seen it a few times. It's when I'm in the mood for Superman, it's not the one I go to first. It never will be, but I will watch it again because I enjoy most of it. So I'm gonna go with Annie and give it 3 stars. I know Mark was going, no, Joel be the same as I can't. It's just there's just something that's not quite there for me. So
Then there's a lot that's not quite there.
yeah, but it was
but like I said, with all its good intentions,
yeah, it should have been a better film.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for Superman Returns. That's on HBO Max. I could say HBO Max.
Yes.
And then yes, next week we're all going to the movies to watch the new Superman movie, 2025, directed by
James Gunn.
James Gunn, written and directed by James Gunn. And some of us have already seen it, right, Joel?
Yep.
We'll have that discussion next week.
And some of us won't see it.
Oh, you're seeing it.
I'm seeing it.
You have to.
I'm Frank Gaffney. Go watch a movie.
And also with you.